Good morning. It's Saturday, June 20th, 2026. My name is Terry Morgan. We are here to practice and talk about teaching Wudang Qigong. In this class, I'm focused on the kinds of things that the teacher should pay attention to. I just taught this class just a minute ago, a few minutes, for the student. This class is paying attention to what the teacher needs to pay attention to. I am a little bit behind time, and I'm doing both of these classes today because I've been working on a rendition, I guess, a reading of my book, The Ambassador, and I'll be on Sunday night, 7 p.m. live, right here, with the next episode in that story. I have recorded and will be publishing the edited, cleaned up version of all of it, and that's what I've been working on. The live stream is live. It's what I do. It's whatever is there. There's no option for me to edit when I'm live, the same as in these classes. I'm live. This is it. In the publishing process, as I'm going to put these recordings on radio broadcast and on any of the on our podcast and on internet radio, is wherever I can put it. I have realized that having a live production is great. I need to do that. It's beneficial for a number of things. Having the sound effects, I guess not the right sound effects, I'll put it that way. Having background noise and other things on a produced version, no. So I've been working on 4 one-hour shows that I've already recorded. They're already on this channel. They're live. You can see me. It's lo-fi. I'm sitting in the chair reading. Those recordings, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I'll be able to get finished, polished, and ready to publish today. I was hoping to do that yesterday. That's why I didn't have class yesterday. That's why I'm teaching back-to-back classes today. The story has martial arts at its foundations, and it is more about learning and teaching than it is about any specific martial art. In my classes, I teach Wudang Qigong. That's what we're doing here. Wudang Tai Chi sword, Wudang dragon sword, Xingyi, Bagua, Yang Style Tai Chi. I learned some Yang Style Tai Chi sword, but I don't teach it. I also teach a bit of meditation and a bit of Wudang Tai. It's another internal form. There are a few things with language and with how to teach, how to learn, that I also include, but the foundations, my own foundations, are specific. And anyone who is learning something specific. Philosophy class can be applied to all sorts of things. What I'm teaching in Qigong class it has application to other forms as well, but it's focused on these forms, not on maybe, right? In teaching, the student needs to understand that doing sort of, kind of, some movement is not what they should do. Part of what we're working on is to perfect the movement. Whatever kind of, sort of, no. I've seen quite a bit of this, and I'll talk about it for just a half a second. The idea that, oh, whatever I do is fine, and I just wave my hands up here, and I did the exercise. I had to wave my hands. Okay, I'm just waving over here. Just I wave this, and and I wave my hands behind my hat, and I wave my hands here in front, and I did the exercise. You did. That is an exercise. It's not this one. That's not even close to what we want to do. But it's an exercise. That difference and the difference in understanding is something the teacher has to bring the student into. It's not, and this is the difference. The student that's just thinking, I'm going to wave my hands. And I'm do this with this set. Here, turn left, turn right, turn left, turn right, and come to center. Yeah, but turn. Yes. That first movement, left side. I go to the right side. I go to the left side. I go to the right side. And I come to the center. That's true. But we don't want to move like that. That kind of movement isn't going to help develop any of the circulation that we want. And it will interfere with developing what we should be trying to develop. That smooth movement that I did the second one. Nice, smooth, fluid. No stops, no starts, nothing abrupt. It's all there. That's what we want. The teacher needs to stop the person that's doing the left side, right side, right side. Tick, 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 tick. Just move my hands and just, no. 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 How do you get somebody out of that? How do you get the person who's stuck? This is a person who's stuck. They're moving their arms from the elbows mostly. Okay, I lock my arms and I move my hands from my elbows. It's pretty much it. It's my arms are locked. I'm exaggerating that, and I do that frequently. I exaggerate things frequently so that people can get the correct idea. How do you get somebody to stop doing that? My arms move like this. That's my arms. You see what I'm doing with my shoulders too? It's pretty easy. Okay? Again, I'm exaggerating that, and this is important for the teacher to understand. I just exaggerated two things. I'm going to do it with a much more subtle presentation now. And I have to get ready for this. Okay? I'm going to lock my arms, but I'm going to make it subtle. I'm not going to I'm not going to flap my arms like this, right? I'm going to lock my arms, and I'm going to crank my shoulders. So my shoulders start to come up, right? It's one of the things that I really have to pay attention to. So I'm going to put some tension through the muscles right here in the back of my shoulders, back of my neck. This is all tense. It's rock solid. It's not going anywhere. It's tense. Okay, and my shoulders are up a little bit. My shoulders aren't down. They're up a little bit. You see it right here. My shoulders are up. My arms are locked. And I'm going to breathe in. And I breathe out. And I breathe in. And as I breathe out, I make some effort to move my arms up, and in a turn, I'm not, it's not fluid. It's not fluid. And then I come back down. How do you fix that? Because that person is not doing what they should do. Breathe in, breathe out. Look at my shoulders. Look at my arms, upper arm especially. Right? Nice, fluid, round. Let's go. We're going to do this. We're going to work on this, and we're going to do a full set of 6 in just a minute. And I promised to count this time. I said we were going to do a set of 4 in the student class, and we only did 2. So I'm going to do 6 now. In getting the student to move, do this. The student whose arms are locked, tell them to bring their elbows up. Stick your elbows out. Right here. Just stick your elbows out. Pay attention to what has to happen with the shoulders. Okay? No. Here. Okay? Elbows and shoulders. Elbows are up. Now, take one hand, right hand, and stick it under your armpit. Drop your arm. Take your hand out. Don't close your arm. Put your hand back in there. Right at the point where your arm connects. Right there. Because your arm is here, your shoulder's here. You want this part. You want the arm. And you want it to move just this little bitty tiny bit away from the chest so that the arm, it's not out here. Set 3, right? Set 4, open the arms, right? No. No. Yes. It's not here, but it's open. Those small differences are something the teacher has to be able to show. In my book, teacher has to be able to show it. Whether it's intentional or not, the teacher has to be able to show the way the movement should be done. Teacher has to be able to explain not to do. Don't do that. Why not? Because you'll hurt yourself. Okay. Why am I doing this movement? What is the basis for this movement? What's the point? In this set, this is set 5. Turtle playing in the water. Right. Connecting the upper and lower. Making sure that the spine is fully open. And the waist can turn. Each time as we move, we integrate more this turning so that the whole body moves. Notice my legs are bent and I'm turning over. My knees still going over here and I'm turning over here, right? That turn comes through the waist, extends through the hip. The hip and the leg are separate. The person that's standing here, they think their hip is down here. Their leg is down here. There's my leg. Now, your leg's up here. This is functional explanation. Now your legs up here. This is functional. As we progress, learning basic anatomy is required. It's not an option. Beginning student isn't going to know. There may be teaching someone who's studied medicine and they know a lot more, right? That sense of, do you know this or not? Maybe you do, maybe you don't, is something that the teacher has to uncover. Does this person know these things? If not, how do I present? If they knew, great. If they don't, fine. Person that knows their basic anatomy, drop your tailbone, open your spine, pull up through the crown of the head, keep the shoulders down and open, keep the arms open. Use the waist, separate the legs and the hips. Excuse me. Excuse me. Not I'm sorry. Dust, maybe? I've been working on my speaking voice as well because of the readings that I'm doing. And as I'm talking about physiology, anatomy and physiology, something caught here in my throat. Not sure what. I had brought some water in earlier. And the effort to clear my throat, the coughing, it wasn't working. The study, and it is very definitely a study. The study of spoken word, the study of using the voice, music. Anyone who sings has developed similar skills in some ways to what we want to develop in Qigong. Connection in the breath and the movement. In music, it's the connection of the breath with the voice. Little muscles right in here. Yeah, voice box, larynx, little muscles. These are big muscles. These are easier to work with, right? It's easier to stick your elbow out than it is to not clear your throat, but clear your throat. It's possible. Part of it is related to the kinds of subtle movements that we study in Qigong, that we want to develop in Qigong practice. We don't want to merely push up and turn. Developing the interconnections, upper and lower, developing the connections through the back, the Ming Men, the Jia Ji, and the Yujin. Ming Men, Jia Ji, Yujin. Through this exercise, as well as developing the connections with the three centers, the upper, the middle, and the lower. So upper Tantien, middle Tantien, lower Tantien. Upper Tantien, middle Tantien, lower Tantien. The connection through the centers in the palms, connect with the centers down the front, use the gates in the back to help the spine spin. That's an instruction for the advanced student. Each progression, if you already know your anatomy, you don't have to learn it because you've already learned it, right? If you've already learned about opening the body and using the breath connections, you don't have to relearn that. You've already learned it. The teacher needs to recognize what the student has and has not learned and be able to give a level of instruction for that student. Giving a beginning level instruction to a person who has spent some time studying something else. So this person already has studied some Qigong, they have a good understanding of basic stances and breath work. I don't have to tell them all the basic stuff. I will remind them of all of the things that I think are important, because whatever else they may have learned might not include what I've decided is important. But I'm not going to tell them to start with standing practice, stand with your feet about shoulder width apart. They would already know that. In bringing the student into the exercise, making sure they're not coming at it. I'm going to get this. I'm going to do it. I'm going to that. No, it doesn't work that way. I'd like to learn. That, it's different, isn't it? If we come at the exercise, we miss a big part of what we want to, excuse me, we miss a big part of what we want to gain from the exercise, which is how to practice, how we learn, how we develop ourselves. If I'm coming at the exercise, if I'm just going to do the exercise, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to do this exercise. Bringing the student into, well, now as you come at the exercise, right, the student, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do, we need to be thoughtful about what we're doing. That's one of the lessons that the teacher has to teach that student. It's not do. I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. I understand this. And that gives me the ability and the skill to understand that. Now I can work with both of them and learn more. So in practice, now maybe we sweat a little bit sometimes. There are some sets where we might. It's not something that we want to do, because the more you sweat, the more tense you are. It's true. What we want to work with is this idea of understanding more, being able to do more. Because I can do this thing only covers the physical movement. The rest of it. All right. In set 5, paying attention to the turning through the waist, paying attention to raising and lowering is part of what we want to do. The connections through the three centers, the upper Tantien, the middle Tantien, the lower Tantien, and the three gates in the back, the Ming Men, the Jiaji, and the Yujin, as well as the Bai Hui and the Hui Yin, so that the body is open and straight. As we sink down, the legs bend, the back doesn't, right? No. Right? Feet about shoulder width apart, stand straight. Pull up through the crown of the head. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Open the arms. Breathe in. And breathe out. Sink. And breathe in. And breathe out. Sink and press up. Breathe in and turn. And breathe out. Breathe in. Pull up. Sink. Pull up again. Push up. And turn. Use the waist. Relax through the back. Open the three gates. Connect through the waist. Keep the hips open. Don't lean forward. Don't lean back either. Breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. And turn. Breathe in. And breathe out. Left, right, left, right. Come to center. One more time. Breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe in. Sink. Breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. And breathe in. Hands down along both sides. Breathe out. Pull up through the crown of the head. Raise the heels and lower. Stay there. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more time. Breathe in. And breathe out. Cycling the breath. Connecting the breath with the movement through the whole body. Making sure that the breathing is supporting the movement, not interfering with it. That we use the breath to help us move. Part of Qigong practice is part of what we want to develop. As we build those skills, we can apply them to other arts. In Qigong practice, internal workmanship, paying attention to the channels and meridians, paying attention to the particular centers, gates, pressure points, dian shui, lao gong shui, pressure points, acupuncture points. These things are all important. If we only pay attention to one, that's not enough. If we exaggerate paying attention to any of them or all of them, it's not enough. The development of practice, your own development, the way that a student begins to embody, I guess I'm looking for a right word. The student begins to embody the art, becomes part of who they are. Not something they work at, something they do, part of who they are. Developing that skill. It's a skill. Developing student ability to understand that. Practice is development. We develop our practice. As we develop our practice, we learn more, we develop more understanding, and we gain more ability to use the skills that we have. Oh, okay. That process is something the student needs to understand because they can't do it at the beginning. They can't. There's a lot of what I talk about that the student, it's beginner student can't do it. I talked about this at the very beginning. I said, a person comes in off the street, they've never studied anything. What is this Qigong stuff? They don't know. It's they just don't know how to introduce that student so that student develops the understanding and maybe some skills. That's the teacher's job, to bring that student in. Everything that I've learned, and I'm going to wrap up for today, and I'll talk a little bit more about some of these concepts in philosophy class. Everything that I have learned required that I be more receptive. I couldn't attack it. The internal arts don't work that way. Façon, concept that I learned from Tai Chi. It's something we use in Qigong as well. It means to extend the relaxation in the body. Façon. Fa Jing, send out the energy, send out the strength. Fa Xin. There's quite a few Fas. It means to use and send out. Send out is a better way to say it. Fa. In the idea of extending the body, extending the strength, extending the energy, extending the chi through the whole body. You can't do that if you're tense. You can't do that if you're trying. It doesn't work. You have to relax and allow that flow to happen. We do similar kinds of things in Tai Chi push hands. If my opponent doesn't move, I don't move. If my opponent moves, I move first. Being able to sense that movement is one of the before it happens. I'm getting ready to move. What am I going to do? I just did it. Did you see what I did? Subtle movement makes all the difference. Beginning student isn't going to be able to see that. I just showed it. And I described it as I was doing it. So now a beginning student can see it. Not without some instruction. That's where the teacher needs to look at what they're doing in the art, what the student is doing, what is the most important thing for this student today? Tomorrow will be different. Yesterday could be different too. What's the most important thing for this student to learn today? In this set, connecting the upper and lower body, making sure to turn the waist, not fiddle with the feet. It's not down here. It's here. This turns. Hips are open. My legs stay open. I don't do this. Right? Posture and position matter for the movement. They matter for circulation, and they matter for how the movement can be done. I've talked about that quite a bit. I'm going to stop here for turtle playing in the water. This turning needs to be fluid. It's water. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. I'll be back next week, hopefully on time. I'll be back tomorrow with philosophy class. Bye.